pledged to rise with India. ET Now has a new logo, it has a new mantra, a new manifesto, and that's what we are unveiling through the course of this week. We've gone public with the announcement now. And so who better than the men behind this change, joining us right here in our studios to talk about it. Mr. M.K. Anand, CEO and MD of Times Network, and Managing Editor of ET Now, Sandeep Gurumurthi, right here with us. Mr. Anand, let's start off with you. Why Rise with India?
I think, the channel is doing very well, and, it's sort of got to a great place with reference to its basic structure, basic audiences, and we needed to sort of now reinvent the whole thing, innovate to, disrupt from within and go to the next stage. Because in the current mold as we see it, as in the current format, it's doing what can be done best. I think it's best in class. Rise with India particularly is a theme that I think is the favorite. India and the nation is something that English audiences, news audiences in particular, are very, very strongly favoring, and that's visible in the theme that favorite or popular national news channels have been taking. Times Now is a great case. So we wanted to look at what can be done with ET Now as a platform to go to its next stage. How it would be of service to the Indian economy. So besides just looking at the Indian stock market and the Indian businesses, we believe that our platform is poised to be of greater service to the Indian economy, to put a spotlight on what is good for India's future, the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And I think that is something that is of as much importance as India's present is. With Times Now and Mirror Now, we are doing that part, focusing on India first with Times Now and Indians first with Mirror Now. With ET Now, we wanted to look at, what are those factors which are working for India, what are those factors which are leading to the growth story called India, and whether Indians can align with it better and participate in the growth story. And we also believe that as a news channel with the kind of credibility and following and as I said, brand credibility, what are those points, what are those topics that areas that we can put a spotlight on that could be impediments to the great growth story that India is becoming.
We stand together that we are India's most watched business channel. And don't fix if it broke. That's what we always discuss. Then why the relaunch?
No, I think like Anand pointed out, I think we've sort of, over the last few years, we've taken ET Now to a point, the team here has taken ET Now to a point where we've sort of dominated business news. And we had to sort of go back and ask ourselves as a team, what next for this brand? And how can we contribute to nation building? I think it's a great opportunity. ET Now is uniquely positioned because it's a channel owned by Indians, led by Indians, imagined by Indians. And I think that's a competitive advantage, if you ask me, that we have. Indianness is what sort of, drives each one of us. And I think if we can help every Indian rise with India, I think all of us fundamentally believe in the growth story of India. All of us fundamentally believe that India is growing. How can we help our fellow countrymen grow with it? And I think that is the sort of credo with which the entire editorial team will be working from starting this Monday, actually.
So what changes on air? For a viewer tuning in, how does ET Now look?
Well, I think a lot of the change is already visible, but such is the magnitude of change, actually, if you ask me, that it will take a few weeks for the impact to actually be visible, for people to actually feel the impact. Rise with India is not a marketing campaign like Anand said. Rise with India is not a brand refresh. Rise with India is a sort of editorial, credo. I think it's what's going to drive each one of us, you, Nikunj, and all of our colleagues to come to work every day in the morning and work for 12, 13, 14 hours. So it's a purpose statement, it's a mission statement. Along with it, obviously, there is going to be a significant change in the product. As some of our viewers would have already seen, we've launched a high impact debate at 9 o'clock called India Development Debate, because we believe this channel needs to focus on development issues. It doesn't need to do it's not here to just offer business news to its viewers, right? We've been offering cutting edge stock market information, breaking stories. We've been doing that, and we will do that. But beyond markets, how can we sort of influence change? How can we help the country grow? And that's why we've launched this high impact debate at 9 o'clock called the India Development Debate. even in market hours, like you've been celebrating over the last few days, Indian companies with the Rise with India theme. We're working on a Rise with India index, unique IP of ours as well. So I think the change is going to be massive, monumental. Already people are feeling it, and I think over the next week or so, as people sort of sit back and realize what's happened, they'll realize what we've done.
I must confess that I'm one of those guys where I believe in the simple mantra: early to bed, early to rise. 10 o'clock is my good night time, but I have a reason now to watch the 9 o'clock show.
That's true.
India development debate. I quite enjoyed the entire debate on demonetization, purely speaking as a viewer. But Anand, do you think the attempt here is to really dabble in the big English news market and go outside the business market?
I think one needs to look at changes in broadcasting, with the filter or the lens of what is happening in digitization and distribution, in the distribution area for channels. In the last 5 years, with digitization and with DTH penetration, channel viewerships, most channel viewership have been going up, and one of the biggest areas that have got the benefit of this is English channel viewership and news channel viewership. Today we have, news channels easily surpass 500,000 viewers per week. Times Now, for instance, gets to about 2 million viewers per week, and those are large numbers. Those are not numbers that used to come. And ET Now, with its robust distribution and popular brand and popular content, already has a very strong viewership. We believe that there is a need to democratize economic debate, to democratize, these higher order topics, and make it, available to our English viewers. Leaving business, topics, leading with business topics, to a certain extent becomes a sort of, I wouldn't use the word, but still jargon to the lay viewer. We believe that while the expert is getting served very well by ET Now during the day, the evening prime time is a very potent time band where our distribution and our existing draw already gives us the a sort of a benefit from where we can jump into the so-called English news fray, and we believe there is a space for topics and space for debates and news from the general socio-economic, political and non-technically financial news which can engage viewers. I think there is definitely a space for very important future relevant, economy relevant topics which day-to-day Indians should participate in and will participate in. And I mean, if you're saying that are we dabbling in the English news space or whatever, I think we are already in the English news space. I mean, calling it an English business news or English news is really, because when you look at the numbers, when you really look at the GRPs from a technical point of view, ET Now is already as big as, it's the number 3 English news channel. Yeah. I mean, it's not just the number 1 English business news channel. If you look at it in the full set of English news channels, it's sort of sitting right up there. I mean, the ET Now's primetime numbers already compare with the second rung English news channels, including our own Mirror Now and the NDTVs and CNNs of the world. So there is no, it's already in that space. So at 9 o'clock, if there is a relevant decision-making Indian out there who is currently getting engaged with topics of a certain nature, we believe that a topic of a certain different nature would engage a particular set of audiences. And it is obviously, this team's endeavor. I mean, my brief to this team would be to make India development debate the best, the most intellectually stimulating debate available in this country. I mean, there are of course popular debates, but there is a space for quality debates. There is a space for, and again, because we are not back to the wall with reference to GRPs or financials, because we are already doing very well as a business news player. I think the accent is going to be on quality in terms of the type of topics that we take. It will, I mean, obviously, as broadcasters, we will always need to be sort of mindful of TRPs. But I can say that Sandeep's choices will definitely, be going through a filter of that developmental quality, economic debate quality, and not just about a TRP, requirement.
It sounds revolutionary. And that's why, because the theme is so strong and so well ingrained with where the economy stands today, it's important to amplify this message beyond on air. What are the opportunities that you see on that front?
Yeah, that's something that I think it's more a content philosophy. I think it's way more than a marketing activity for me to sort of specifically talk about what are we going to sort of do to popularize or publicize this. First and foremost, one needs to understand that this is a product change. This is not a revamp or relaunch, or it's a product change. I mean, it's like saying that am I making a building or am I making a cathedral, for instance. I mean, this is about, zooming back a little bit and looking at the entire scenario and saying, I mean, I was now looking at a narrow area called business and finance. Now I am looking at business and finance, but I am also looking at all that matter for business and finance. And therefore, I am going to give you the full picture of development economics, of India as a growth story, of India as an opportunity, not just as an investment, but also as a place to live, breathe and build. So I think, I'm not really so very concerned about what is going to be the marketing plan, although there is a strong marketing plan that we are putting. But as Sandeep was saying, I expect this to evolve and I expect this to roll into something much larger. If I would say, I mean, in the last 8 years or so of ET Now, if first step was launch and second step was to become best of breed and come to the top of the heap, I think we have another 8 steps to go before we reach what we can be, because I think ET Now in its ET Now Rise with India is a movement and not a channel. And I think movements have a life of their own, and therefore I don't think I have to put a marketing plan to it. Would be to sort of, I don't think that's where we are coming from. However, we're going to be, it's going to be expressed through content on the channel continuously. Of course, there's going to be the customary launch plans of, print and TV and other media and of course social media nowadays. But beyond that, I think what's going to happen is the way Times Now has reveled in, has celebrated its ability to impact the socio-political discourse, and it actually takes pride in saying that action begins here. What we discuss typically gets picked up from water coolers to sometimes the parliament. Similarly, I think ET Now has the ability and definitely will, impact. It's not just going to report on, but it's going to pick up topics and pick up areas that need attention by powers that be, and we are sure, and I'm 100% sure that Sandeep and all of you all will be able to change the discourse of policy in this country, and that is what I think it's going to be. Another version of action begins here, and that is what is going to really drive home the point, and that's what's going to be marketing for ET Now.
Fair point. Sandeep, the challenge for all of us could be Rise with India also could we may just end up becoming cheerleaders for the government.
I think we will celebrate India. I think our sort of, credo is very clear. Rise with India, because fundamentally we believe in the India story and it's agnostic to the political establishment at the center. I think we will celebrate India. We will celebrate Indianness. We will be the biggest champions of growth. We will fight for growth, but equally we will question anyone on anything that comes in the way of the growth. I think we will question policies, we will question politics, we will question politicians, we will even question industry. But I think fundamentally our objective is to be sort of agnostic to politicians and governments. Our objective is to be sort of unabashedly nationalistic in the fact that we want to help this country develop. So I think that's our credo. So I don't think we will consciously in any way sort of try to be seen as cheerleaders, but yes, we do want to contribute to nation building. That we're very clear about, Nikunj.
Right, that's the big picture view. Anand, we have to end with understanding how does this fit in with the overall network strategy?
Yeah, I mean, network strategy when it comes to running a news network, and that too when we are talking to the super state called the English-speaking Indians, the people who drive this country, people at the helm of every organization of any significance in this country, which is the English-speaking, English-viewing audiences. I think besides running a network as a business like a broadcast network, we have always been aware of what we can do and what are the other value that we can create, besides running a great business for for the shareholders and for the employees and for the consumers. I think like as I said, I look at it as a triumvirate of Times Now, Mirror Now and ET Now. While Times Now stands for the idea of India, India first. I mean, India is more important than the Indians. Mirror Now stands for issues that are concerning the Indians' day-to-day life. And ET Now is fitting exactly into the third part, which is, if India is so important, then what does India do for you? So ask what your country can do for you. As against the other statement. So that's what I think we're going to be sort of bridging. I believe that in the middle of all this great India growth story, and India going to be this great shining beacon of economic success in the next 5 to 10 to 15 years. The fact is that the urban citizen, whether as an employee or as an investor or as simply as a property owner, is today a little more bewildered than he was 10 or 15 years ago. I mean, whether it is salary or business or investments, I think an Indian is a little more, Indian is a little less confident about himself than about the country. So I think as media, as ET Now, I think is sitting in the right spot now to bridge this gap. That if you are not confident about yourself, but you are completely confident about your country, how do you sort of come in the way? I mean, how do you bring this bridging? How do I help you rise with India? How do I help you help India rise?
Beautifully put. So essentially, to summarize this discussion, we are really talking about ET Now being your one-stop shop to rise with India. And I was telling Sandeep a few days back, we could perhaps put a tagline saying ET Now, the choice for every Indian as well. But thanks very much, Anand, as well as Sandeep, for joining in. With that, we come to the end of this edition of Closing Trades and Tomorrow's Trades. From Nikunj and myself, thanks very much for watching the show.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNow Live. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.